What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video from Mr. Gray's Talk Room. I'm your host, Christian Gray. Today we're going to be talking about love without limits. It's been a while since I've uploaded a video because I've recently been moving from one place to another, and if there's one thing I genuinely hate more than anything in the world, it's moving from one place to another. Like the concept of moving, it's like the concept of tying your shoes. It's like a total waste of time. I hate it. I don't like it. I've never liked it. So now that I've finally settled into my man cave, my bachelor pad, right now I'm in my den, and you can't see it right now, but behind it I have all my workout equipment. Nice little flat bench, got some weights, got some dumbbells, got a couple of resistant bands. It's the way to go for me. I'm going to also give you a couple of updates which changed within the past month and a half. March 5th, I think, here at the Dallas Open, we had IBJJF, which is the International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation tournament. Dallas Open, pretty much everybody in the area comes in, competes, fine, whatever. I was in the quarterfinals. I was winning. Some shit happened with the ref, some shit happened with what I was doing, and I ended up tearing my knee. I got a grade 2 MCL tear. So that really set me back. Recently, I've essentially just been rehabilitating my knee, getting back into lifting weights instead of doing jiu-jitsu because I have a lot of issues torquing and turning my knee. And so I've decided to just get back into the gym instead of just being there, not being able to train. I just walk around and coach. Well, I train in the academy, then I get to doing what I can to help the white belts and blue belts with their basic fundamentals of jiu-jitsu. So moving on from there. Love without limits means to ensure that at the end of the day, although I've been called a misogynist, I've been called a sexist, I've been called a bigot. These big words that people only hear on TikTok because it's always some educated woman that says you hate women. Misogyny in theory is defined by the disdain or prejudice against women. I don't hate women. I love women. Women are beautiful creatures to be around. They're beautiful sentient beings to be around. As a matter of fact, 100% of the people that I have slept with are women, so I can't exclusively hate women. Women are also beautiful in that sense where if they treat you well, it makes life feel blissful. It makes life enjoyable. And I've been around my share of bad women, and my podcast isn't to tell you, the man, that you're supposed to have distrust or prejudice against women. That's not what I'm saying. You should love women. You should appreciate them if you can pull out the red flags and know that the woman that you're with is a good woman. And that's the hard part. That's the ongoing battle of figuring out if a woman is a good woman for you. It's hard. It really is. But I also have to bring into my personal experiences. I've dated a woman, I'm going to use her middle name, Alexandria or Alexandra, I can't remember what the fuck it is. She said that she loved the way we looked, not the way we felt. So essentially, us being together made us look good on paper. But behind that, she wasn't happy. Okay, fine, she cheated on me. Move on, fuck off, on to the next. Then I had a really good other woman. Her name was Renee. She did absolutely everything I wanted her to do. Every time we went out, I took care of her. But there was a caveat. The caveat with Renee was, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. I think it was about 2019 or 2020. I told her that I was going to get a psychological evaluation because I was going through a lot of mental health problems. That's why I took a hiatus from creating YouTube videos, because after I written my books, I realized I'm looking at my own material and I'm thinking, damn, I need help. So I went in, got an exam, and when I told her, hey, looks like my ADHD testing is going to look like a bipolar differential, which means we're testing against that, she freaked out. And it wasn't a big freak out. She literally asked me, where are we going to go eat? Like, she completely disregarded. So I knew if I got that diagnosis, which I did, she wasn't going to be able to handle it. So I had to let her go. I had another woman too. And that particular woman, I was 24, 23. She was 35, something like that. It was a big 10-year difference. She had just had her first child, and she was completely fucked up. I can't even remember her middle name, and I'm not going to say her first name. Not that it makes a difference, but let's just call her Kylie, right? Let's just say Kylie. Kylie essentially used every exploitative manner to attack my disorder when I was up or when I was down. And that was when I was going through a lot of medication changes. I was having therapy at least 6 to 8 times a month. And that's considering I wasn't in an intensive outpatient program. I was in just an outpatient program. I had my trauma therapist, I had my family therapist, and then I had my psychiatrist. So I was seeing them regularly, monthly. And once I was able, of my own choice, of my own initiative, to stop feeling so groggy, so sedated, I would take this medication, and I will tell you the medication that I took at that time. I don't take that medication anymore. But I was on Depakote, Trazodone, Buspar, Seroquel, Adderall. I was on like about 1,500 milligrams of medication. And obviously, any human being, and I'm a pretty big dude, but I'm not a big dude. I'm like 240, 5'10". That shit would just fuck my shit up to the point where, yeah, I did get sleep, because that's one of the issues with people who have bipolar disorder, is that their circadian rhythm is off. So it's hard for them to get to sleep and stay asleep. That shit fucked me up. And I would wake up, I would go to the morning, it'd be like 8 to about 12. I'm still sedated, eyes groggy and bloodshot. People thought I was smoking weed or something, and I don't smoke weed, I don't do cocaine or anything like that. And then I had to take my own initiative and do my own research, and I started reading dense medical studies. Went online. I wasn't looking at WebMD. I wasn't looking at healthylife.com. I wasn't looking at these .coms or .nets. I was looking at dense clinical studies, and I found, and what works for me is 400 milligrams of Seroquel, the extended release, because the purpose of the extended release was to help me get to sleep, sedate me to get to sleep, but also not give me such a groggy feeling in the morning when I wake up. If you give me 200 milligrams of the immediate release, I'm out like a light. 15 minutes, I'm out. I'm like, shit, I'm done. It's pretty much someone hitting a fucking gravity bong or a dab pen, and they are out like a light. And I've never liked the way weed made me feel. I can probably tell you 1 or 2 times that I smoked weed, but I was drunk, so I had a cross-faded high that I actually felt good. But in terms of smoking weed alone, not really my thing. I get too paranoid. I don't like people around me. I try to fight people. I get aggressive. I start yelling. It's not the type of person I am, so I just don't do that drug anymore. However, nicotine and alcohol will always be absolutely necessary. So with that particular girlfriend, Kylie, when I would tell her and I would open up to her and tell her, hey, I'm going through this, we're going through the med change, if I'm off, just let me know. She found very minuscule details to exploit me on that, and she made it seem as if it was my fault, which actually, in the quite opposite, she had issues that she had to work out. I genuinely believe she had borderline personality disorder, with at least the way she was able to gaslight and manipulate me for no apparent reason when I'm doing absolutely everything right. But that's neither here nor there, because one of the biggest issues with women who have BPD, borderline personality disorder, is they never accept as if it's their fault, because they've been so traumatized by everybody else in their society and their surroundings that they're the victims. Well, it explains why people with borderline personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder on the same axis in terms of giving a diagnosis. It's very minute. It's right there. There's a silver line, but it doesn't matter. So moving on from there, I spent, I want to say, It's 2021 to about 2023. Let's say 2021 May to about 2023 of April. Almost 2 years being by myself, getting my shit under control, knowing how to navigate not only my disorders, but also navigate to not make whatever person that comes into my life that they're the problem. And during that time, I could tell you it was dark, it was heavy, it was draining at some points, because at that time I really longed for affection. But when you don't have affection for such a long time of your own choice, you realize you get very comfortable with yourself, and you get very comfortable creating your own peace. And if I could tell any man, any woman, peace over pussy and penis any day. If you can be very comfortable by yourself, it makes you a high value man, just shoots you up to like 70%. Then you can work on your business. You can work on your job. You're not stressed about your job. I am not stressed about my current jobs in any way, shape, or form. As a matter of fact, I have least stress. I have so much stress. I can work very, very minimally and still get paid at an adequate wage. But because I'm not stressed about it, it allows me and my mind to open up and find other avenues to how to help other people and the people that I work with. So when I tell you this, love without limits is hard, but in order for that to happen, to have a guide to what I call ethical non-monogamy, you have to ensure that you're not using sex as a tool to make you feel better. Sex feels good. Sex feels great. But when you break it down, there's only so many ways you can fuck a bitch, and a bitch fuck you, and her to suck you this way and that way, and you suck her that. There's only so many ways. There's not, at that point, like once it gets a little bit weird, you're into the weird realm of people who are polyamorous, and they're into that kinky shit. And I'm into kinky shit, but I learned, because I used the kinky shit as my outlet, now that I didn't have to use it for so long, I can use that for exclusive fun times. So when I get a woman in my bed and we have sex and we build a bond, instead of making it seem as if you have to do this or else we're not together, no, now you can give her the choice that if she wants to do this, if she likes doing this, if she's curious about it, it makes sex even much better, because she's doing it of her own choice, instead of, I wouldn't say forcing her, because that's not the right word. It's all about consent, caution, and care. I would say coercing her in a position where she's only doing it for your benefit, for your orgasm, for your climax. When she does it for her climax and yours, it makes sex so much better. I assure you that. And I didn't quite talk about that in my first few episodes. But looking back into that, I've had my fair shares of breakups, and I've had my fair shares of relationships. I'm in one right now. And of course, I'm always talking to women. But I think it's important for you to understand that in my current relationship, and I'm going to give you what I've been experiencing, I cannot sit here and tell you that my current main chick is not a good woman. She is and she isn't. She's been conditioned so much to have this masculine realm of odd masculine expectations, because she thinks like a man, but she's not a man. So she can think like a man, a simile, a metaphor, but she's not a man. I could sit here and tell you that I've had more joyous times hanging out with my boys than I have with my girlfriend. And that's not to say that I don't love my main chick, or I don't love spending spare time with my side chick, or I'm at the club, bring a chick home, she's a hoe, all right, fine, wham, bam, thank you, man. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, no woman will ever understand how joyous it is to be around your boys and literally be in the same room, talk about life, talk about work, talk about business, talk about whatever hoe he's chasing, whatever hoe I'm chasing. Well, I wouldn't say chasing, whatever hoe that we're pursuing. She will never understand that. I had dinner the other day with my best friend Maurice, and we literally had our dinner, had our dogs, watching TV. We're talking about XYZ. What are you looking at this week? What are you looking at this week? But the distinction between having a work conversation with your woman or a work conversation with your boys is we're problem solvers. We're logical thinkers. Think about that. Men are problem solvers. We're logical thinkers. We're thinking about, okay, we have this problem. How do we solve it? A woman's most likely thinking, and normally, usually, always think of, fuck, I have to do this. I have to deal with Sally and Sue and Maria and Andrea and Joe and Juan and whoever the fuck it is. They're not exclusive problem solvers, no matter how much she proclaims to be. I had a conversation with my main chick, and she asked me if I was ever cheating on her, would I let her know? Yes, you would know. But what she doesn't know is that, and I think this is an important thing for you to keep with yourself. Men are always, almost always, programmed to want to cheat. Her job is to be such a good woman that your desire to cheat diminishes. Think about that. You're with the woman so much that you're like, you know what? I really would have wanted to sleep with that girl, but she treats me so well that I don't want to. And I told her that. She's already left me. And she came back because I'm always poppy. But I also find it interesting because just like I talk about my exes, my boys, stuff like that, using pseudonyms and aliases, is she said something. I started laughing, no less. She said, why did you have to put on your podcast that I'm gay? My girlfriend's bi. And I'm telling her, well, it's not that big of a deal. Like, you're gay, okay. Like, I thought this was 2024. Go gay pride and LGBTQ and all this stuff. And I've said before, my sister's a lesbian, and I didn't give a fuck. As a matter of fact, it was my grandmother who cared so much that she called me when I was in college. When I was in college, taking a class at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. She's like, "Did you find out that your sister's gay? What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Grandma, is that it? All right, cool. I'll talk to you later." Like, it wasn't that big of a deal. If you're gay, you're gay. You're bi, you're bi. You're trans, you're trans. Like, as long as you don't try to hit on me or fuck with me, that's fine. Because gay, bi, trans, all that shit, like go do your thing, but don't try to convert me. That's not my thing. Same thing as religion. Don't try to convert me. I know what I believe in. I don't think it's appropriate for you to do that. It's not your choice. Although you may feel of whatever Messiah that you follow or of your own philosophy that you're supposed to do X, Y, Z to me, just go do your own thing. I respect you. Go do that, but just don't come on to me. And that goes with religion. That goes with politics. That goes with people's sexualities at this point. You know, it's 2024. And I didn't find it a big deal. What I did find a big deal is because I also do this podcast in the sense that I don't want people to know who I am dating. I see it all the time in my comments that, oh, you're a virgin, you play video games, you're a fat fuck, you don't train, you don't do shit. If you look at my earlier reels, you'd see I do jiu-jitsu, and you'd see that I'm a really good competitor. Not only that, I'm a good practitioner. But what people don't know is that I'm also a kick sparring world champion in Taekwondo. So I have the best of both worlds. I know how to spar, I know how to grapple. But people don't know that if they don't do their research. They just say what they believe because of, for whatever they decide to say it. So when I tell you this is my main chick is sitting here and telling me, you know, don't say that stuff. Well, you don't have to listen to it. And if you're going to be with me, if you're with me, no less, you know, I've always been vocal about this. The only reason why I started this podcast was because me and my boys, I think we had like 5 episodes. We have had this Pad Intentions podcast. And my boy, Jared, was like, hey, let's do a podcast. Let's game. Let's talk about shit, whatever. And it was really good. Question is, everybody has fucked up schedules. It fell off. You know what? I'm going to do my own podcast. It's not that hard. Get a computer, get a camera, get a microphone, headphones. All right, set it up. Let's go. That's just the way I am. Because I was thinking to myself, well, I was doing videos for the longest time, but doing a podcast is so much easier, especially when it comes to editing. It's much more effective getting your point across, especially because you have long form content and you could break it up into little short form content like reels and stuff like that. But with that being said, I told her, and I tell any girl that I meet, I have a podcast. If you tell me something, and just like any comedian, we take the worst of a situation and we put it into comedy, or we put it into a life lesson, or we put it into XYZ. That's what I'm gonna do. As a matter of fact, if she feels so embarrassed that she can't even open up to you because she feels that you're gonna say this on your next podcast or episode or special or whatever, she may not be the one for you, and that's perfectly fine. So there's a couple of things that I want to talk about before I get into a guide of ethical non-monogamy. There was a guy that I saw on TikTok. I can't remember what his name was, but he said something that I still hold dear to my mind and heart. He says, when a man does not feel appreciated in your presence, and your presence means to the woman, he's going to give you a side of a man that is cold, that is silent. He essentially just gives you just enough to survive because he doesn't feel appreciated. She can love you with all his heart. You can give her the best dick. You can buy her whatever the fuck it is that you want to buy her. You can take her out to the nicest bars or nicest restaurants, or spend 2-3 hours talking about her week or whatever the fuck it is. But if she doesn't appreciate you, as a matter of fact, if she's so non-appreciative that she can't even introduce you to her close family, she ain't the one, bro. Especially when you're the one taking her out to your friends, to your close family members, to essentially your siblings, and she can't do the same. If she can't be reciprocate, if she can't give the same reciprocity of what you've been doing with her, she ain't the one. So you keep her just along. You keep her on a hook, right? A hook, just like I have you on a hook. I was fishing, felt the bite, got it hooked, and then it's like, all right, cool, but you just give her just enough water to survive, where she doesn't feel like she's asphyxiating, right? You don't take her out of the water, because if she breaks free, it's okay. You never actually caught her at that point. Then what she doesn't know in the background is that you have 2, 3, 4, 5 other lines of trying to hook fish with the bait. That's the way to do it. If she doesn't make you feel like you're the only man, she's not the one for you. As a matter of fact, if she's not thinking to herself, how much more people can I introduce to this man, because I genuinely love this man. He makes me feel good. He makes me feel safe. Although he may say some outrageous shit, this man is so special that I want to show him to the world. If she can't do that for you, she's not the one. And if you're doing that for her, then you just got to pull back. Just give her the bare minimum. And I guarantee you, she's not going to like you. Well, she'll love you to an extent. And then she'll probably say, oh, I'm turned off. I think the spark was lost. And then you say, you know what? I genuinely believe that we were the right people at the wrong time. Tell her that. I guarantee you, when she leaves you, it's a lot harder for her to replace me than it is for me to replace her. Because then she has to go back out trying to date. I've always been dating. That has not stopped. I've always been dating. Sorry, not sorry. If I go to the gym and I see a girl and she's dressed like a sleut, if she's dressed like a 304, if she has a crop top and those fucking short shorts are literally in her ass like a thong, I'm looking. There's no apology for that. I'm looking at her. I'm be like, damn, she's fine as fuck. I'm like, damn, I would like to bounce on that booty. Damn, nice titties. I know you got a boob job, but still, nice titties. Like, I'm not going to apologize. I don't care what Jim Bro or Joey Swole or what this gym culture etiquette is. First off, if a guy touches me at the gym, I'm going to hit him. Because I did guarantee you, if any guy that you put in any gym, and you try to put him into a jiu-jitsu gym, a jiu-jitsu academy, a judo academy, a wrestling academy, he ain't going to make it, bro. No matter how much street fighting that he does, he's going to get knocked down, taken down, choked out, feet raised in the middle of the air to wake him back up, and he's be like, what the fuck happened? That's why when I go to the gym, there's no gym intimidation, because I could probably fuck up half the people there. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. And when you look at the women there who are showing their ass for TikTok views, for whatever reason, for whatever clout they're looking for on Instagram and all that shit, well, put that girl into a jiu-jitsu gym. I guarantee you, I got a girl named Lilo. She's gonna fuck her shit up. She will power double slam your ass and choke you out. I feel so bad who was ever her prom date. And Lilo, if you hear this, I respect you. You scare me more than the men at fucking tournaments, but you know, keep doing you, girl. So that's why I actually gave up my gym membership 3 years ago, like right when COVID happened. I think it was March 2020, because I got more results training at a jiu-jitsu academy and in my house than I was at the actual gym. The fact that you have to go, beat traffic, warm up, find parking, people are taking weights, they're posting pictures, they're trying to showboat, whatever the fuck. I don't, dude, just get into your workout, do your workout, and fuck off. You know what I mean? Like other people are trying to use the fucking weights. So, other than that rat going on, a guide to ethical non-monogamy is making it clear to any woman that you meet that there may be other women. But how you get them invested into you is that you tell them, man to woman, look, I don't know who you are. I enjoy my time with you, but just know that a man of my stature, women come up to me, women try to dance with me, they want me to dance with them. I have that aura. I don't know who your last boyfriend or what it is. All you need to understand is that if I start looking, I'm being a man. If I start touching, I'm being a man. However, if you say that you're a special woman the way that you proclaim, then the more time I spend with you, the less time that I want to do that. So we just have to roll the dice and see where this goes. I don't want to lie to you and tell you that I'm not talking to other women. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that I don't lust for other women. But if we're going to be honest, you have to realize is that as you grow, as you age, your ability to reproduce diminishes. Mine doesn't, exclusionary doesn't. And I'm not on TRT or testosterone or anything like that. So my boys work fine. But one of the things that I've always said that it gets her mad to this day is I said, there are more people in this bar than eggs you have left. So if you want to be with me, you have to truly invest if you think that I'm your father for your children, for our children. You have to think about that at that point. So I want to talk about a couple of other things too. So there's this guy, Brandon Jamal, and I heard it on TikTok and I was cracking up because it reminds me of the Rio Grande Valley, all the tortas, all the fine girls, all the skinny girls, all the nice thick girls, the fit girls that I met in high school. Every time I go home, I look at them and they're literally built like a torta. Like they're just overweight, they eat a whole bunch of stuff, they drink a lot, but they don't work out, right? They tell me that I'm a little bit chunkier now. The couple of years ago, I was about 213 when I got back into jiu-jitsu, and I was like 245 and I lost a whole bunch of weight, got really cut. But since then, I've torn my MCL, my right knee, and I tore my LCL in my left knee and my MCL at different times. So it's been hard for me to do jiu-jitsu, and the fact that the new gym that I train at, they have the new academy that I train at, they have a gym that I can actually work out. So I'll work out, then I'll go in, see what's going on in the class, help the white and blue belts. I can do that, right? And I thank my coach for allowing me that to do that. But now that I've leaned out, like I remember I had some shirts that didn't quite fit. Like I would put them on and I couldn't get them over my belly. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, I have to get back in the gym. Like I spent so much money tailoring my clothes. I let myself go. I went to like 265. Now I sit about like 242. I laugh because when I look at the people back at home, they're either on crack or on coke or locked up or have 4 or 5 different baby mamas. And I look at the girls, same thing. They have 3, 4, 5 different baby daddies, and they're working minimum wage at the island or some bar or whatever, and they're hitting up on all the guys trying to get good tips. And I look at them like, damn, you were so hot in high school, but I'm glad I didn't knock you up. I'm glad you and I weren't, high school sweethearts or whatever, because now you're on your second or third baby daddy. But this guy, Brandon Jamal on TikTok, he said, you let him hit it raw. You didn't have second thoughts. Now you a single mom. Now you a single mom. You said, I'm going to have his kids. Don't care if he's here or not. Now you're a single mom. Now you're a single mom. I started cracking up. And it's true. And I'm sure whoever went to school here in DFW in those small subdivisions, those not so well schools, not the nice schools, that they have that same capacity. But for the most part, the fact that I'm not from Fort Worth, and I'll say Fort Worth, makes my life so much easier. I can meet a single mom, get in, get out, get off. I don't give a fuck what she did in high school. I don't give a fuck if she's at community college. It's fine, whatever. Get in, get off, get out. Cool thing about that is I can literally go from Fort Worth to Arlington to Grand Prairie very easily, or Fort Worth, Haltom City, North Richland Hills, Watauga, Saginaw in a matter of minutes. So I can get different zip codes in a matter of minutes, as opposed to when I was in South Padre Island, there's only one zip code for a good while, and it's 78578. So going from there was another person, and God rest his soul, I saw this video a while. This guy was Kevin Samuels. He was a YouTube commentator. And he has this TikTok or Instagram reel or Facebook reel going out. And it's essentially stating she's not special. And women are beautiful creatures, but they're not special. The guys that make them feel special isn't the guy that's trying to glam them up with their nicest car or their money or their bachelor pad or essentially finances. It's the guy that makes them feel safe and secure. And secure means that when I'm around in the presence of this man, I know no other man would dare fuck with me. Which, when you roll with your boys, and when I roll with my boys, when I roll with my boy Maurice, nobody fucks with us. As a matter of fact, it's always when I'm not around him that someone fucks with him. But he can hold his own. It's never been a fact of if we can't fight. I can fight, just like my boy Scott. But any of my boys, Jared, William, Maurice, Fernando, they may not fight or they may not train, but I guarantee you if I get in a fight, they're shooting. And I don't mean shooting as they're going to like actually pull out a gun. I mean like, well, depends on the situation, but like they're throwing hands. And those are the friends you want. When you have a girl who's mom or the masculine girl in the group, she's the one that can fight. And a man's not going to do anything because obviously when your main chick is 6'1" and she's bigger than most guys there, and I'm 5'10", no less. I'm big, but more by weight, not necessarily by height. When you're on the, I wouldn't say like average height for at least an American, not a Mexican, and you weigh like you lift, which I do, there is that sense where other bigger guys who are taller than me, they look at me like, damn, that guy's stout as fuck. He's shorty as fuck. But when they see my ears and they know I train everywhere I go, every bar I go, every cantina that I go to, they look at my ears because I have cauliflower ear. My ears are fucked up. They look at like, hey, do you train? Just this past weekend, I was at a birthday party for my friend's mom, and one of the girls there, I think her name was Ellie, she's like, you fight, don't you? And I'm like, yep, 100%. When a girl can recognize that and a guy can recognize that, they're like, I don't want to fuck with that guy. Because most guys have pretty ears, right? I earned my cauliflower ears. Don't get me wrong. It was one of the most painful situations I ever had to deal with, but I earned my ears. So, moving on from that, you make a girl safe and secure, but she's not special. Kevin Samuels. If you make her feel safe and secure, you have her until she decides to leave you. If she cheats on you, you don't take her back. My girl, main chick, thinks that it's hypocritical. It is hypocritical. That's like me walking into a candy store. The minute that I bite a candy, you're like, no more candy for you. Who the fuck are you? Bitch, I'll get diabetes on my own. I don't need you. Just give me some insulin. Well, like, who are you to tell me not to try other pieces of candy? You know, it's like if there was a burger and everybody had bits and pieces of this burger, and then let's say you throw that burger away and a homeless man picks up that burger and that's the best burger he's had in his life. Well, yeah, because that's the only burger he's had in his life. That's why he's like, oh, yes, you're so special because this is the only burger I've had. Bro, that's also disgusting. No man would ever do that. You know what I mean? No solid gentleman would accept a girl that is tainted. If she leaves you and she sleeps with another guy and she tries to come back and you ask her, did you sleep with somebody else? She might as well not even say anything and just go home. I don't want you. It's disgusting. You shouldn't be doing that. If you want to be a hoe, go hang out with your single cousins or single friends and go do that, who tell you all the shit that makes it seem as if I'm bad or whatever the fuck it is. Go do that. But I'm not the one for you. And I'm not going to take you back. Fuck that. I don't want you. I can't even get my dick hard anymore. Someone else touch you. Why would I want to do that? Now, don't get me wrong. I've had hoes. I've had MILFs, with 3-4 kids, get in, get out, get off. But I was always smart to use protection, the condom, because I don't know who else they're fucking. Just bend them over. All right, busted. All right, see you later. Text me when you want me to come over. I've done that. But I'm not going to marry the bitch, Like, if my girlfriend's like, if I'm trying to advance on my girlfriend, she says no, I'll be like, all right, let me check in my DMs. Who's up tonight? You up? All right, I'll be back. Get in, get off, get out. So, Kevin Samuels, I know I went off a rant, but going back to Kevin Samuels stated in this TikTok she's not special. And I have to use my pad because it was quite intense. If she's over 27, it's time for her to sell. If she's over 30, she's 50% off. If she's over 35, she's on clearance. If she's 40, she's at the outlet. If she's 50, she's at the thrift store. If you think about it, and genuinely think about it, and I said in the beginning of this video, I spend my time, my few moments of free time, of happiness, talking with my boys and hearing how they're getting their masters at Tarleton or getting their double masters at UT Austin, or they're moving up to be an office manager at a mental health clinic, or they're moving up to be a marketing manager at whatever place that they're at, or they're moving on to be this type of engineer at this private security business or private business. Those are the things that I have the conversations with. Don't get me wrong. Any woman that's been in my vicinity, I enjoy them, right? But like after sex, it's like, all right, cool. Let me go play some games. Let me go write up my next podcast. Let me do some video editing. They're like, oh, cuddle. Like if you don't want to, like if you don't go to sleep, then no more time. Like I just won't spend the night. All right, cool. It's much cheaper. It's much cheaper for me to hire a maid and a prostitute than it is to take a woman out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Brunch, lunch, dinner, drinks, clubbing included. It actually is when you think about it, right? You hire a maid to come in for, let's say, $100 every 2 weeks. The average tab in America for a night out is like $123. It's much cheaper for me to hire a maid. And a prostitute, well, Why don't I just get the single moms who just want dick and, take them out to a dive bar, no less, because I'm not going to take her out to a fancy cocktail bar, spend $60, bring her back home, smash, all right, send her Uber, $40 to wherever she needs to go, and that's it. Think about it. I could do that virtually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's much cheaper, right? Especially when dive bars, it's like $5 of good tequila shots. I could spend $20, bring her back home, whatever, Uber, fine, whatever. Think about that. Anyway, so with all that being said and done, ethical non-monogamy isn't exclusively hard when you make your intentions clear. If I'm dating a woman who's 30 and up, I know that she does not have a lot of time to procreate with me. I know she's looking for a husband, but I'm going to vet her out with a much longer time to see if she's the woman for me, right? I'm going to introduce her to all my friends, all my close family members, and then when she gets the privilege to meet my mother and my grandmother, thank God they're still alive, then and only then, after they get a deep assessment from those two women and they tell her who I truly am, which I haven't lied to, but when they exacerbate and narrow down that I'm not lying about who I am, then they get to choose if they want to be. So if that's like a 9-month to a 1-year process that they get the privilege to meet your mom, dad, grandmas, hey, like, I get it, my mom and my grandmother, they want a granddaughter and a great-granddaughter, but I don't want a woman that's going to be nagging me out all the time. Like, if she's making big deals out of nothing. Like, women talk a lot of shit for no reason. They really do. Like, I could probably, I don't even think I'll say this. Once you have a main chick and then you start building your side chicks, you spend more time trying to hook your side chicks and you talk less with your main chick. Because then if she leaves you, that's fine. She can leave you. But I've always found it interesting because what is she going to do? Just take off, right? You spent this amount of time and she hasn't realized who you are. The other day, I was at a birthday party that I was talking about earlier. And because I started fitting into my tailored clothes again, one of my friend's uncles, Ted, he tells me like, oh, you have that hamburger helper out, right? Because I had literally like everything unbuttoned all the way up to my, like, the bottom of my sternum. He's like, duh, had my chain on, had my pinky ring on, had my watch on, had my earrings on, had my glasses on. And I'm like, duh, I gotta let women know that I'm a cheater and I'm a liar. Like, of course I'm gonna lie to my main chick and tell the truth to my side chick. Why would I not do that? Why would I want to hurt her feelings even though she already knows what the truth is? Ethical non-monogamy, in short, isn't really difficult if you make your intentions clear. So if you're on any kind of dating apps like Facebook Dating or Hinge or Tinder or Bumble, the way I've always set it up is you want a short-term relationship, but you're open to long. Because when you look back at it, it's always the woman who dictates the type of relationship. And it's always the woman that should come up to you and say, what are we? When a woman says or asks, what are we? She wants to be your boyfriend or she wants to be your man. I could spend 3 dates with a woman and she'll ask me, what are we? Or do you want to be my boyfriend? You say yes if she treats you well at that time. Over that time you develop and she gets to see who you are in a much closer microscopic detail. That's fine. She can leave at you anytime. You could probably do something fucked up, probably say something fucked up. But if she can't accept that, then it's at your choice that if she leaves you, she asks you the man, to be your boyfriend, to be your, she asked you, the man, to be your girlfriend, essentially, right? Or your boyfriend. I don't know why I'm confused now. So you're her man. If she leaves you, let's say after 3 months of dating because something happened, all you have to tell her is, I'm going to miss you, take care. And I say it, and I'll say it again. There is a song by Luke Bryan, Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye, and I sent it to her and she never responded. She had to actually ask me for a conversation on a Friday morning, no less, 2-3 weeks later. The lyrics go, all we do right is make love. We both know now that ain't enough. Ain't gonna beg you to stay. Ain't gonna ask you what's wrong. Ain't no reason running after something already gone. When I text her that, she didn't say shit. She sent me this really perplexed message of XYZ. And that's all I sent her. I know she read it. But I know it bothered her because I told her that if you do break up with me, I'm going to send you that. Or I'm going to send you I Can Still Make Cheyenne. And the other song is, there's so much about you I'm going to miss. No, I'm sorry it's come down to this. There's so much about you I'm going to miss. But don't worry, if I hurry, I can still make Cheyenne. Didn't send her that one. I sent that one to... Who the fuck did I send that one to? I think I sent that to Kaylin. And she didn't text me back. But the funny thing is, when you look at those two women, they were much older than me. They were in their 30s. That's the funny thing. Is that when I told them both that, she was convicted, she wasn't. She came back. This one didn't, right? Looks like that one just wanted me for sex. And it's funny because while I was dating, I found a woman that I was dating for like 6 weeks, no less. And I was slowly building all these things up. I got a little too attached, and I realized that she just wanted to smash. I guess she, like, whatever her last boyfriend is, or at least what she told me, she had been there for such a long time. She just wanted to have fun. That's fine. If you're 30, all right, cool. But moving on from there, she did also have a lot more mental health issues, because when I walked in, and I know what medication is. I take medication, but when I see 5 different medications, you're 5'1", 135 pounds, and you're on the shit that would knock me out, yeah, you have a lot of mental health issues. Also, there was one thing is that there was one time I went out to the liquor store. I needed to go buy some liquor, and I'm wearing my party glasses, and she says, you look like a total douchebag, take them off. Once I knew that, and then all the dark jokes that I would give, she said, God, you remind me of my racist dad. And I'm like, I knew at that point it's not going to go anywhere because I remember too much of her father or her racist dad, who's white. I'm fucking Mexican and mixed. So I just found that very funny. Liked her at that time. But when she just ghosted me, she said she wasn't ready for a relationship. And I'm like, what relationship? I thought you got in a car accident. Anyway. So, ethical non-monogamy, in short, is just letting your intentions clear known. Her job is to keep you. Your job is to keep swimming in the deep depths of the ocean. If you're a big fish in a small pond, yeah, that's fine. But when you get out of those little towns and subdivisions and you start exploring the city and the world, then you realize you're not that big in an ocean. So what you're supposed to do is remind her that it's her job, objective, to make you feel that you don't want to step out on her. But also let her know at some point, if we get married or if we have a long-term relationship and we have children together, is that her job, her objective, is to just be blind just a little bit. Because it's going to happen. Any Lord, King, Sultan, entrepreneur, y'all, conqueror, emperor, anybody who has had a place of power, they've always had affairs. Almost always. She should be like, well, you sucked his dick and you don't get shit other than a night out. I have the house, the kids, and the car, and I'm taken care of. But if you're with a woman who doesn't choose to be in her femininity because she wants you to take care of her, well, you're not a mate. That's not your job. I can hire a maid. I can hire a cook. I can hire a personal chef. It's much easier to just throw money at it. But if she wants you to do that, she may not be the one, bro. It's all right. So other than that, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you liked today's episode. Let me know what you think down in the comments. You can catch me on Facebook, Twitter, or Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble. Definitely catch me out on Rumble. And until next time, guys, stay tuned. Take care.